The director of Thor Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, has revealed where in the MCU timeline Thor Love and Thunder takes place. And wouldn't you know what happened next? A lot of confusion and angry people. And of course, the angry lore keepers. No, I didn't say that wrong. There's actually like lore keepers that take every piece of dialogue and everything, and then they look at it, and then they call out everybody at Marvel Studios. Well, you guys are doing a good job at least. At least you know where it takes place. So before we get into this, let's go over the basic. The people hired and working on these movies don't know everything. They kind of just do what they're told, and generally, they don't really have the full answer and the full picture in front of them. That's only really Kevin Feige that kind of, knows everything, if you will. So there's bound to be some mistakes that are made. Of course, there's already been plenty of mistakes made in terms of the timeline because, one thing or another. Just recently with Eternals and Doctor Strange and the placement of that film and Eternals and even Shang-Chi, there's more questions that are being raised because of everything after Endgame being condensed into this one small time period. The latest edition, thanks to Total Film, is from director Taika, who directed Thor Love and Thunder. And he says that he feels that it's been a number of years since the ending of Avengers Endgame. He says he believes it's been 4 years since Endgame that this film takes place. And, sure, why not? I mean, the last time we saw Thor, he was big, had put on tons of weight, he went off with the Guardians, we're gonna catch up with him, now he's gonna be way slimmer, buffer, so some time has gone by since he's taken that weight off. Obviously, there's things that happen in the movie that are gonna give us a little bit more, info on what exactly's happened, where they went, why Thor's gone through such a massive change, what's happened with New Asgard. There's plenty of things to do here. And look, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, who really cares at this point? Because it doesn't really seem to matter on the grand scheme of the timeline of what they're doing, because it doesn't look like this film is going to inform like everything coming forward or before it. Like they're just kind of doing their own thing, telling their own story. Eventually, it's all going to catch up with another Avengers film or a giant crossover, whatever it may be. And then we'll go, oh, okay, it didn't ultimately matter. The real reason it matters now, I think, it's because we're getting so much conflicting info. This one takes place 6 months after. This one takes place 3 years after. Oh, this one's 4 years after. But the other one's 2 years before it. Like, what? But then they released a timeline on Disney Plus and they're also condensed. And I think that's the problem people run into. It's like back in the day when we had Incredible Hulk and Thor and Captain America, and then we had the 2 Iron Man films, because Hulk is kind of like partitioned out between multiple events. So if you're going to do a technical chronological watching order like people suggest with taking out the disc or whatever, you got to like chop up the Hulk into like 4 pieces. It's just senseless. Like, who cares? It's a little timeline thing. Like, whatever.